Hi, I'm Stacey Hyde and I'm back for another episode of Better Financial Health in 15 minutes or less. And today I would like to talk about uncertainty because particularly in investments, uncertainty creates opportunity. What do I mean by that? Yes, you can keep your money super safe. You can put it in the bank, and if you are in a high yield account, you'll earn 4.5% or so. Great. But if you're in stock markets where your rate of return is unknown, and I would almost argue unknowable, particularly in the short term, if you look at what it has done historically, it's averaged around 10% a year if we're talking about large cap, large company US stocks. So that's a pretty big trade-off. And over time, earning 10% on your money will lead to multiples of what you would earn on your money at 4.5%. But that also brings us to the issue of, well, we can't know, and people get panicked. So in the markets, 2022 was pretty terrible all around. Interest rates rose, so if you had bonds, you lost money. Stocks were beat up, so really there was no place to hide except in cash, which at the time was paying next to nothing. And so it was really a disconcerting year. And then 2023 started off okay, and then really did nothing. Interest rates continued to rise, but then a funny thing happened. Markets started to decide that the Fed had raised rates enough. Interest rate readings were coming out, inflation readings were coming out, and they were much better, more in line with what the Fed wanted. And so the markets started jumping up. And that's why we always tell our clients, you just have to be patient with the market. We don't know when those returns are going to happen. That's that uncertainty, and that leads to opportunities. There's also a good parallel, and I think for some of our younger listeners, there's a parallel like this with careers. Many times you don't know what is going to turn out to be the best career track for you. And the certainty of going to work for a huge company may seem like that's safer, but it may not offer you the opportunity for raises, for promotions, that taking sort of a flyer on a smaller company that may give you more opportunities for growth, advancement, more returns, so to speak. And I think that that's pretty true of life. And you can think back to maybe trips you took where you didn't have everything planned out, or maybe a trip you did have it all planned out, but you had a few hours and you went and did something else, and that turned out to be the highlight of your trip. That uncertainty breeds opportunity, and oftentimes it leads to much greater returns. But you have to be patient. You have to be willing to say, wow, that was terrible. And believe that if you've got, in the case of a portfolio, a broadly diversified portfolio, not to panic, not to sell everything then, because that's where people get hurt, is they decide they've had enough and they sell. And Murphy's Law says it will happen every single time, is the moment you sell, the next week or the next month, that's when the market jumps back up. And so that's why we encourage people to be patient and to sort of ignore what's going on there. As long as you know you're doing the right things, you are investing money each paycheck, you are keeping your expenses low, you're broadly diversified, you can ignore it. The markets will work for you while you're sleeping, while you're out doing the rest of your life. So the takeaway for today is uncertainty leads to opportunity. And the more that you can lean into that, and I know it's uncomfortable. I'm a planner. I mean, that's why I got into financial planning. it can be hard, but if you just trust the process, it will lead you to where you want to go. Thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of Better Financial Health in 15 minutes or less.